The Cathode building at Giga Texas is 64.8% done, thanks to some reconsidered roof math. I'm Brian. Welcome to My Tesla Weekend. A lot has happened over the last 2 weeks, but none of it changes the math as we track it, and I'm sure you'll agree that even though stuff is getting done, it doesn't appear meaningfully more complete than it did a week or two ago, but I assure you that just isn't the case. A quick thank you to upgrading patron Mark. Thank you for your decision to continue supporting the channel. So let's take a look at what's gotten done over the last 2 weeks. Well, the roof has gotten cementitious. They put down a thin layer of concrete, a thick layer of foam, then another layer of concrete, and they even put the weatherproof membrane on top of that. The exterior attachments for wall panels appear to be complete all the way around the building, and a ton of work has taken place inside the building. This includes the start of interior walls, which is pretty rare to see in advance of exterior walls, but here we are. And the mega-slab in the southern end of the building has been poured and is now curing. That's something we didn't see in the main structure at Giga Texas until, well, it appears to still be ongoing, at least in the stamping cathedral today, despite the factory having entered production many months ago. So considering this whole new schedule, I've decided to adjust the math accordingly. Typically, a Tesla factory doesn't start getting its final roof layers until well after the walls go up, but this time has been different. So let's take a look at the site map and see how it's changed over these not so many weeks, and go from there. And then we'll talk about the math, so let's look at it, as we always do, a week of a week. It was slow in the beginning. There were some starts and stops along the way. All of it took some time. You can see the key in the corner explaining what's what. And also, mad thanks to Joe Techtmeyer for use of his amazing drone footage. He lets me use it because he's an awesome guy, and I know you check out his channel, but maybe check it out again and show him some love too. So there it is, and there you go. 64.8% done. Let's take a look at the roof progress. Well, 60 of the total 198 square areas have been finished on the roof. Truly finished. They have their first layer, their cementitious undercoating, the foam insulation boards, a second cementitious coating, and the weatherproof membrane. While there could be revisions to the roof in the future, they'd be revisions and not the initial construction. So I've decided to count these manually, and at 60 of the 198 final squares, that adds 2.3% to the overall site's completion. It's not a big jump, but it's worth mentioning. So we are still waiting for walls, which have yet to even arrive on site. I think we'll see a big crane show up maybe a week or two before the walls do, and then it'll just go so fast, just like everything has on this site. So here's the site progress over the weeks since it's launched, so you can see how we're doing. Not too shabby, I'd say, considering the lagging math on my end bears no reflection on the actual interior completion, which is still moving forward nicely, despite a lack of walls, which we just have to start seeing show up pretty soon. I'm serious, we gotta see it. So on the plus side, the longer we go without exterior walls, the more of the interior progress we get to see. I mean, that's something, right? And since the walls haven't begun closing off, the target completion date has been bumped back accordingly. So this tracker assumes 5 months from walls to completion, and we're already well into September. So we're looking at sometime in February or March to even begin seeing production. even on an optimistic time frame? It's fine. It'll work out great. You'll see. Videos like this take a lot of time to produce, so if you find value in what you see, consider offering support on Patreon, where you'll get early access, exclusive content, and a whole heck of a lot more. Or you can subscribe, like the video if you did, leave a comment, I don't know, follow me on Twitter, @4K Podcast. I appreciate you all either way, because you are the reason I'm able to keep going, and I thank you guys for that. So, what did I miss or misunderstand? Leave your thoughts below, your wisdom, your blinding brilliance. And stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots. On the interior side of the tracker, assuming you don't make it to fully charge this weekend, where I'll see you there instead. Either way. And here's the time and a half overtime bonus for hanging out. In case you missed it, the factory is expanding northward. They're knocking down peaks, filling valleys, drying and covering ponds. While we don't know what's coming in these areas, we know it's something. And the mining ravaged lands the previous owner was supposed to restore to some reasonable state, well, it's finally happening. And what we're getting is a factory that replaces the ones making pollution-spewing dinosaurs in other states. And yeah, this isn't going to be trees, but it's also not just, mining savage lands ruined by pure greed, despite their obligation to fix it, which they did not do. Terrible. This is a net win, anyhow you slice it, so there you go.